Name is Catherine Mayeski. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, but I reside in Phoenix, Arizona, and I am currently in a master's program for organizational leadership through Northern Arizona University. Currently, I'm actually transitioning into a new role this upcoming Monday. I'm going to be in management over a few retail stores of a major chain. Enrollment story is a good one, I must say. So I was working for a large nonprofit organization here in Phoenix back in March of 2020. Of course, that's when some things changed for everyone in the world. And over the course of 2020, as things progressed, I realized that I really wanted to expand my education. I wanted to go back to school and finish my bachelor's. And in working with a nonprofit and community organizations and leaders here in Phoenix, I decided I wanted to complete my bachelor's in public administration, which I did in August of 2021. And then shortly after that, I decided I wanted to keep going and get a little bit more of a specialized education in leadership, which is why I decided to pursue a master's in organizational leadership. Truly and sincerely enjoyed and appreciated the conversations and support that I've had with my graduation specialist and really everyone I've come into contact with at NAU. You can imagine, I'm sure, for someone who's actively in the workforce and then considering going back to school in adulthood or later in your 30s, it's a little daunting. And then add a global pandemic on top of that. I was really nervous. I was really scared. I didn't know what to expect. I frankly didn't even know if I was taking the right steps for myself, but I decided to talk to NAU, talk to some graduation specialists, and they were just so helpful. They answered every question that I had, and some I didn't know that I should have been asking. And I felt just no pressure whatsoever. I didn't feel that you hear stories about people being sold on going back to school and, the cost that's associated with that. And I never felt any of that pressure. I just felt the support from my graduation specialist. And when I had more questions and wanted to talk to more people, like graduates from the program, they were more than happy to connect me with both students as well as teachers. So I've really enjoyed working with my graduation specialist. I would give someone who is thinking about starting or continuing or finishing a graduate or their program, I would say that, take your time. Don't rush. Don't feel like you need to continue on this path just because maybe that's what someone else has told you, whether that's a parent, a friend, a loved one, maybe it's a colleague, or maybe it's just the pressure from society. I would say that you want to ask as many questions as possible and take however long it takes you to decide to move forward. For me, that was 10 years. And if you had asked me 4 years ago, I would have said, absolutely not. I have no desire to go back to school. But what I have found most intriguing is that, a lot of people, I think, might stop on their path in education early on because they don't enjoy the classic classroom, or maybe they just didn't find something that was very interesting or resonated with them. And as I've gone further and further in my education, particularly in my master's classes, it's truly opened up a whole new world of possibilities and sense of options for me. So I think that for someone who's considering this, take the time, ask the questions, talk to as many people as you possibly can before you decide to move forward. But also keep in mind, too, that higher education, at least for me personally, looked much different than my high school and my community college education. that I chose NAU for my education was after researching the online programs that were available and also affordable for me and where I'm at in my life. NAU stuck out more than any other organization or school that would have had a similar degree program. And when I was looking at master's programs specifically, the organizational leadership program at NAU seemed to really fit both my experience and also my desire to learn at my own pace. So being able to join an online master's program so I can continue to work in the day to day and really finish my education on my time was critical for me to be able to continue my education. And then the overall experience that I've had with NAU after finishing my bachelor's and then continuing on to my master's has been truly exceptional. I mean, again, I really didn't enjoy school before. I did not enjoy my high school experience and anything prior to that. I didn't really enjoy my experience getting my associates at community college, but being where I am now today at NAU, finishing my bachelor's, and now the support that I have from the teachers and the program and even my fellow students in the master's program has been incredible, and I never really envisioned it for myself. Give NAU a rating from 1 to 10 in terms of if I would recommend it as a school to anyone who's wanting to consider expanding their education or continue their education. It would be a 10, hands down. I, again, have felt so supported from the moment that I started asking, do I really want to go back to school? Is that even feasible for me to know right now? What do the finances look like? Is the workload going to be too much? And I just felt that I have every resource available to me, not only to answer those questions, but to instill a confidence in myself to be able to complete the program despite the fact that I'm working full time. And then just to give a really specific example, back in I think it was June, July of 2021, as I was in my last two classes to complete my bachelor's at NAU, I had to reach out to my graduation specialist because unfortunately I was, much like everyone in the world through this pandemic, experiencing some challenges, both in a change in work, a change in housing, a change in finances. And I had to pause. I reached out to my teacher, reached out to my graduation specialist, and they were so understanding and accommodating. And I wouldn't have finished without them. So NAU gets a 10 in my book.